Hey, what's up, everybody? BDF 44 coming at you with another video. Alright, I'm keeping the lights off for no other reason than it is way too hot. This ain't one of them situations where I'm thinking about it as far as I'm wanting to sit in the dark more comfortably. No, not tonight. It's just, there's no way I'm turning on the lights right now. So yeah, man, feel pretty good. Had my soap delivered here. Just went and picked that up from the front desk. And I've just been very thankful that I've been able to get that delivered over here, because near the end of the tenure over there at Linux, I could not get it for nothing, man. I would ask for it, by way of Amazon, and it would be like priced up to like $20 for 3 soap bars. It's like it's only supposed to cost $7, but for whatever reason, that was what I was running into. So on this side of town, not at all. It's regular price. Been able to get it consistently. Very thankful for that, because y'all know I can't use no regular soap. They do provide like little white soaps, and I haven't checked to see if I'm allergic, but I'm pretty certain I'm allergic. So I just kind of leave it right in its packaging, man. It's one of those days where we're dealing with the heat wave, and this was supposed to be the hottest day. I don't know if tomorrow is going to be even hotter. It may be, but yeah, I got my ice water here and all of that good stuff. So did another playlist tonight. Delicity 363. Encourage everybody to check that out on Apple Music if you care to. It's African Afro beats, stuff like that. Smoother Afro beats, nothing too up tempo, but more so nighttime stuff. Good music. I haven't listened to it as of yet, but everything that I found I enjoyed. New track from Tim's, new track from Manny Wells, that kind of thing, man. So definitely enjoyed that, and I'm glad I had it to do since the music dropped last night, because there was a good portion of time during this day where there was nothing to do, and it was right on time for me to have brand new music to check out, and it killed a good portion of the time where it was just too hot to go anywhere, too hot to work out. It was that it was between like 1 and 3 where I just had the music to kind of turn to. So I was very happy about that. So yeah, man, I encourage everybody to go check out the update video I did today. I'm very pleased that my therapist was able to send over the paperwork for GR. We've been waiting on that the whole time I've been here. Not necessarily her to send it, but just getting that paperwork actually, sent to me signing it properly, thinking I had it signed properly, and I didn't. And it would turn out some more paperwork that needed to be signed, and I had to forward it to her, and it was a lot of different steps that just was very difficult to get it done. And so finally today, I believe that the final step has been taken care of. Hopefully they don't double back around and say, well, just because you got that doesn't mean that because you own stock, we're going to let you get GR, because that is still a possibility. They could say some bullcrap like that, because I do own my AMC. So it's one of those things where it's like, nah, I ain't trying to give that up, and I shouldn't have to. If I cannot work, that's it. If the therapist says that my mental health concern is that of somebody who should get SSI and GR, which she has, then there shouldn't be no other reason for me to be denied by the government for what it is I need. And so I'm very thankful that she sent that back. And so that was a lot of weight off from my shoulders and, stress off my back. So I was kind of able to settle into that a little bit. I'll be much happier when the GR is here. Obviously, I only got one more week here on this contract. But I'm just trusting the God I serve to kind of help me find where I'm gonna land. If I need to get another contract with these folks, I know what the drill is. I just got to get out of here for at least a night. Spend the night maybe at the same hotel. Hopefully it's around the same rates. NoHo was pretty solid for a night. You know what I mean? That wasn't an issue. And then come back in the morning and try to get another contract if they will allow me to. So that's the goal. That is ultimately what it will likely have to be. And my hope is that GR will kick in before that, since I was able to submit everything on a Friday early enough. You know what I mean? I got that from her somewhere around 12 or something like that. So I submitted it immediately. So hopefully they were able to get to it and start the process, for that. But I'm always waiting around for something, man. It ain't never quite my life in my own hands. But that's the struggle that I've been dealing with my mental health, man. when I did have a job and a car and all that, I was miserable as hell, wanted to die. So what can I do, man? It's just no real way to function like everyone else, it seems. But um, I am able to do certain things that I'm enjoying. All the playlists and stuff like that. It's been amazing. It's been amazing to really see what my mind is capable of when I'm not wasting time, when I'm using my creativity to create things. I'm a factory, and that's the flip side to my mental health. On one hand, I can't seem to work a regular job. On the other hand, I can do like 4 or 5 different things at a professional level. So that's just what you take the good with the bad, and there's more good than bad when it comes to me and my mental health, or my capabilities with the brain that I have. It gives me so much trouble. So I took me a shower and was praying to God about everything that's going on. I thanked him obviously for what I'm being what there is to be thankful for, but in the same breath, obviously I've been struggling with something else as well, and it's just is what it is. That's always a struggle when you're feeling for somebody that's not reaching back to you. I'm one of those people who wants to be there for her during a difficult time, and she's one of those people who wants to pull away from you when she's going through a difficult time. Problem is, I'm too going through a difficult time, so that's kind of the issue. And because there's a lack of communication, my mind does a whole lot of thinking that inserts answers to questions that I've never asked, and so that's why I end up struggling more than just as simply saying, okay, I understand that she's going through this and this is what she needs. I also have to deal with my head telling me all different things about me and her and all types of stuff that I have to pray my way through. And the Lord has done a great job of allowing me to vent to him rather than to her. And so that's really what it's about. You find yourself reaching out and you get no text back, and it's one of those situations where you just got to deal with that. We've had conversations about why that is, and I just got to believe what she says and pray about it. Help, in what way she can use, not in the way that I want to help, which is to continue to reach out, but to give her the space she needs. And so that's where I struggle. It's like, okay, how can I get my head right so I can stop being selfish with her? And even though I feel like she's reserving her space, which is somewhat selfish to me, given that I'm going through what I'm going through. At the end of the day, you can only do what you can do, which is what I was saying earlier in the video. There was times, especially when I was her age, 27, 28, where I didn't reach out to people. I didn't care if they were going through nothing. Not that I didn't care, it's just I wasn't around to care, and it was okay for me. I was smoking my weed, playing my video games, and doing my work thing. Work, come home, and nobody else fit in that equation. I'd imagine she has her own version of that in whatever way it is. You know what I mean? It's like when you know how that goes, even though I'd imagine she has an entirely different routine or a different way of living. When you know how that goes, you can't really get mad at nobody for doing that to you. It's what goes around comes around, and it's come back around to me. And so that's the part that I come to be at peace with, even though I struggle with the action itself. It's like I get it more than probably most would. It's just whether or not I have the temperament to do what I need to do to be okay over here. And I've been all right. It's been hard. I think I overthink about her, obviously, and that's really what kind of is the basis of 2 different problems. Just like I got these living issues, and I also got her to really mull over being ignored, and I'm being ignored by her, it seems, and that is something I wrestle with, because it's like, for me, the type of personality I have, if I'm with somebody like that, or if I'm trying to be with somebody like that, or if I like them like that, or whatever the case may be, if it's like that, then what I want to do is have them lean on me when they're going through difficult times, and me lean on them through difficult times. Now, everybody else, the way my head works out, it probably ain't like that. But for the woman that I'm pointed at, I want to confide in her, and I think I'm at my best when she feels comfortable confiding in me. The problem is, I don't think I've ever been with a woman who has felt that she wanted to confide in me. I think I've mostly been with people who were comfortable with me not necessarily being around. One of my most the longest relationship I was in, I felt like I was with somebody who really didn't care too much if I was there or not. And it was always me pushing more of my energy into her than her kind of being convenient with how she felt about me. And when she wanted to walk away, it was easy to walk away. And so I've gotten to a point where I'm like, I don't think I've ever had nobody fight for me. You know what I mean? Not necessarily for a relationship to stay together or for us to get together. But I don't think I've ever been fought for. And with the esteem issues that I had growing up, I think it was just kind of par for the course. You choose people with the understanding of who you are in mind. And that, to a point, I think I was kind of like that at 33 when I met Kay. Kind of choosing her for reasons that didn't necessarily align with who I am today. Now, that doesn't mean that my feelings for her aren't real, or that I wouldn't connect with her if we were to spend time with one another, because I thought that that was a real thing. But the type of characteristics that I think I would be best with are definitely not these, man. They're not these. These are characteristics I do very poorly with. And so that's just something that I've come to understand. And I think I do best with people who prefer me around, who prefer to speak to me than to not. Now, I don't necessarily want to be smothered, nor do I want to smother anyone else. And when I feel like I'm being ignored, my natural inclination is to reach out more. So what I'm trying to do is ask the Lord to keep me from doing so, keep me from putting myself in a position to smother her or get ignored or annoy or, to whatever that would be. Harass, however far the threshold would be seen. I don't want to do any of that. I want to handle my business on my own, and when we get back in contact with one another, have good things to tell her, you know what I mean? But I'm struggling with that, and I think I'm struggling with that because I'm being ignored and because I'm going through these difficulties. And when we speak, you know what I mean, she always has good things to say. It's not like she's telling me to go away, you know what I mean? It's not what it is. It's just that she does disappear. And it's not new. That's not a new thing. But I've never really done well with it, as you guys know if you've been following me long enough. We've been dealing with this for years. And it's just gotten to a point where I'm going through one of the worst times of my life. And I would prefer her be near, you know what I mean? But that's a selfishness to a degree, It's like, she needs to be away. Do you care what she needs? And it becomes a situation where I have to ask myself, do I? Like, of course I care, but at the expense of myself? That's when I struggle. And it's like, I know I'm a good influence on her as it pertains to, I'm not out here in the streets. When she was working with me, she was eating better. She was kind of mimicking some of the things that I did. We talk about prayer all the time. It's not like I'm trying to get her to do low frequency things or be on a low frequency with me. That's the opposite. I think that's one of the reasons why we get along so well, is because we bounce wisdom off of one another. But she's her own person, and maybe she has other things going on. Maybe she's involved with someone else. You know what I mean? There's no way for me to really know because the communication obviously is not there. So for me, it's just like, I feel like I'm being ignored, you know what I mean? At the end of the day, regardless of how many conversations we have about it, I've also expressed to her how much it bothers me or hurts or whatever the word would be to not have her on days when I'm going through the worst of things. And while this ain't that day, this is a day where she hasn't responded to any of my texts. I didn't call, but it gets to a point where it's like, all right, I gotta stop, I got to stop. If I was her brother, I would tell me, the dude, to stop, bro. Give her space. And so that's where I'm asking the Lord to give me the temperament to do that. I got sisters, you know what I mean? I had a mother, you know what I mean? It's like, at some point in time, a man gotta know that just because you need something from a woman does not mean that she's supposed to be giving it to you. You know what I mean? No. And that's not the example I want to show you guys. So this is me trying to control myself in this regard. This is me coming to y'all saying that I'm trying to find that temperament. I'm praying for that temperament. I respect that temperament needs to be found. You know what I mean? Certain things you just don't do. And I'm very sensitive to that, and I respect her and her space. And I respect that I'm struggling, with that space. I respect that I probably don't deserve to be ignored. I don't deserve to not be communicated with. based on the relationship of friendship that we've had, you know. But did I care? I gotta double back. Did I ever, you know? I had friends I didn't reach out to. Didn't make me right for doing it. Maybe you feel I deserve that, maybe you don't. I do. But it doesn't mean I'm having a good time with it, you know? So I also wrestle with the fact that I've talked about these things on this camera. This is therapy for me, but what it is painting a picture of a stranger to you. And so there's a balance to be had to say that she sent me good morning text and so many different things that ultimately led me to being used to her being there, and she didn't have to do any of that, you know what I mean? It's a lot of inspirational things that she sent me when I wasn't reaching out. She would reach out first, you know what I mean? So that's what the conditioning is. I'm a systematic person, get used to consistency. And, you know, I like people being consistent with me, even though I'm not as consistent with others. And so that's also part of it. It's like, where them good morning texts at? Where them inspirationals at? You just get to a point where you just feel like you feel abandoned, you know? And that's how I feel, you know? And sometimes that very feeling makes you want them even more. You want more from them because they're giving you less. And that's a demon I don't want to have anything to do with, to be honest with you. Within myself, I don't particularly think that works for me at all. So it just becomes a point where you understand you're different. I'm different, you know. If anything, if I had more going on in my own life, this wouldn't feel like nothing. If I was a regular guy like everybody else in my age, I'd have my own family, and all this other stuff would have been done by the time I was done with her age. You know, 27 years old, this would have been the end of that. But because basically my whole 30s were wasted mourning my mother, and you know, kind of just doing immature stuff that kind of supplemented my own mental health and pain, I've reached a point where I'm almost 40 years old, and here I am, kind of going through things that people my age probably don't go through very much. And that's just part of it, man. It's just the walk I'm in. I'm not having a good time with it, but I know God, and He's giving me a lot, so I don't have to act as if I don't know Him. And I'm asking Him for the strength. I'm asking Him for the maturity. I'm asking Him for whatever's best, you know, not only from within myself, but in regards to a friend. You know, if Kay's not the person who I'm supposed to be pointed at in that way, I want the Lord to kind of move me on, you know, so that not only am I not welcoming the wrong things in my own life, but so I'm not being the wrong way toward my friend. I don't want to ruin the friendship because of this era we're in, where she's doing whatever she wants to do and I feel abandoned, you know what I mean? That's not the basis of what we built our friendship on, and I don't think that's what she wants me to feel. I really don't. It's just she's doing what she knows how to do, and we've talked about it. That's the good thing about all of this. I have some reference to say either I can trust that or not trust that, but there's something there. It's not complete silence. We've had conversations, so that gives me some peace. And it gives me something to pray about, you know. If she's going through a dark time, or if she's stuck in a situation where she made the wrong decision and now she's not able to be the friend that she wants to be toward me, then I ask for liberation for her, you know, in Jesus' name. I don't assume that I know, but I do know that whatever it is she's going through, she hasn't been very pleased about it. She doesn't tell me that she's happy doing this. And so I don't know that I would feel better or not if she were happy, given the fact that I'm miserable with it. But the point is, I don't want her to be unhappy for any reason. Not with me, and not with someone else, or not by herself, or not in any situation that she might be a part of. You know, especially when I know she's grieving. And so that grief is, I know all too well. Like I said, my whole 30s was just taken by grief. And I don't know that I lost as much as she has, to be honest with you. In fact, I don't believe I have, not in such a short amount of time. So it's like, she gets all the passes in the world from me, and if I could turn off what it is I'm doing, I'd turn it off right now, which is what this is about. I'm not telling y'all I want her to be different. I'm telling y'all I want to be different. I want to not feel abandoned while my friend is grieving in whatever way she does. You know, that's the God's honest truth. I don't want to feel abandoned while she's trying to heal. You know what I mean? And that's ultimately what I'm asking the Lord to kind of coerce me away from. You know? It's the God's honest truth. Regardless of what she's doing it because she's hurting bad. And that's pain that I would love to be able to help heal for her. But it's very difficult to do that. She's not letting me close enough to do that. And I'm going through my own pain just the same. So we just got to find even yokes in our lives, man. You got to find people that can give you what it is that you give them. And a lot of times when we're chasing money and different things, lust and different things, you end up finding yourself matched up with the wrong person. You know, you end up finding yourself matched up with people that can't give you what it is you give them, or people who want more from you than you can give them. And so I don't think that's what's happened here, but I know that's what the result of doing that does as well. And I don't wish that for anybody, not myself or anybody else. So, you know, I just want to find what's meant for me. And if there's nothing meant for me, then I want to stop reaching out to someone, you know what I mean, for what is not supposed to be. It's God's honest truth, man. I don't know what the Lord has in store for me, but I've prayed all the prayers I had to pray in that regard. And now I'm just waiting for him to come around, God to come around and help me help myself in this way. If I can't get any help from anyone else, at least let me get strong enough so that I'm not continuing to do this to myself. So that's pretty much what I wanted to say, man. A lot of my struggles should be only about my living situation and my mental health, but when you're connected to somebody, you're thinking about them just as much as you think about yourself. And in this situation, I think I'm thinking about myself by way of them and what they're not doing. That's selfishness. And I'm not confused by that. So, yeah, man, another light alone. Like I tell y'all, this is a lonely life. I created that, you know what I mean, with my own choices and by way of my own trauma and mental health. And that's also part of the concern for my friend. I don't want her to do that for herself. I don't want her to push everybody away that loves her the most, bring the wrong people to her for the wrong reasons, and then be stuck. Because I know, flawed as I am, the love that I have for her is genuine. And the more communication we had, the more I would understand what I need to do to make her, you know, fine with myself, I guess is the best thing I could say. But when I prayed about this, the Lord said, can't make her feel better. He, God, can. And so that's really what it's about. It's feel the same way about her. We could try to communicate more, but she ain't gonna make me feel better. It's God that puts all of that is good inside of her for me there. And that's what I come to understand. All good things come from God and all things will return there. So given the fact that I've been acting as if I don't understand that, I think it's more so about my mental health and my temperament rather than the wisdom to know it. She can't give me no more good than what the Lord put in her to give me. And I can't give her no more good than what the Lord put in me to give her. And anything that's not supposed to be there should not be. That's wisdom. Sometimes it's hard for us to act on wisdom when our feelings are in the way. So I believe that she's the type of person who can numb feelings away. And I am not. And that is an uneven yoke if I've ever heard of one. But, you know, just the same, there's pain to be felt. And she expresses that a lot. So it's like, how much numbing is it really? I don't know. But I know she's pushing away someone who means well. You know, that's the most important thing. I don't want to overstate, oh, I'm the best thing. No, I'm not. Of course I'm not. But I mean well. And I think when you have people in your life that mean well, the wisdom is try to keep them closer. I haven't always engaged in that wisdom. So who am I to tell her that she should be? You know what I mean? In regards to myself. I push good people away a lot of the time. Even my mom, to an extent, I pushed her away. You know what I mean? And now that she's gone, I know that I wouldn't do that today. But I had to get to this point, you know? And so she's going to have to get to a point where she's welcoming of what is good in her life. So while I'm sitting here waiting for her to figure that out, I got to keep living my life. And the only way I'm going to be able to do that properly is by way of the Holy Spirit that I believe in, God, of course. That's what I'm saying to you. and just having these therapy sessions with you guys that can kind of occupy my mind away from that thought, and doing various different other things like art and playlists and working out and all these different things that really make me busy enough to enjoy my isolation. But when you have four walls, that's what I will tell you. Four walls is, and you're in one space and you don't leave there, it's very easy to overthink about others and what they're not doing for you. And I think that's a big part of the problem. So, God bless this room. I'm thankful to have it. Obviously, I would much rather have it than not, given my circumstances. And I would much rather have her around than not, given my circumstances as well. But at the end of the day, how much better am I for her if she doesn't think so? You know what I mean? At the end of the day, it's not about what's true, it's about how you perceive it. No different than what I go through with my mental health. And if she thinks I'm somebody she needs to keep away from, then regardless of what I think it would be like if she were in my life a little more, it probably wouldn't be very good for her. And that's what I have to be honest about. And I always tell people, just because you have a good person in your life doesn't mean they're good for you. A lot of times people get that confused. And so I don't believe she has that confused. I think she knows I'm a good person. I think, she perceives me as a good person. I think I'm a good person. You'll be the judge of that as well. But that doesn't necessarily mean that I'm what's best. And so that's part of also dealing with that, just being okay with that and knowing that if you're not right for somebody, then you're probably right for somebody else. So this is what it is, man. I don't know that I made myself feel a lot better, but I definitely wanted to get all this out. And I want to encourage everybody to just make sure that you're with the right person. Or make sure you're not alone for the wrong reasons. Pushing away the right person. A lot of times our pain will do that to us. Did it to me, I think it's doing it to her too. Don't let it happen to you. Pray the prayers necessary, meditate the way you need to so that you're not missing the bus that you're meant to be on. In whatever way that is. I may be doing the same thing in some ways. I can't tell because I'm too clouded by what it is I'm feeling. But I'm wise enough to know that that's just simply temperament, and those are things that we should be reaching for, is to love ourselves enough to make the decisions that we can not only live with, but be proud of. And when I think about pushing people away and not reaching out to loved ones and letting friendships go by the wayside to protect myself, I realized that didn't work for me. Those are things that I should not have done. I'd be a much more mature person, I think, if I would have allowed those people in my life at the time that they were there. If I would have kept them friendships close, I'd have more love in my life to help supplement what is not here right now in her. You see what I'm saying? Friends that I would be able to call because I was in their life every day. I let some of the friendships go by the wayside. So that's really the truth. I'm alone in this room because half of my friends I don't talk to anymore. And that was on me for doing what it is that I did in keeping people away from me for the betterment of my own comfort. When it wasn't really comfort at all. We got to know the difference, Sometimes them inner demons be kicking our butts long term. That's what it do. Make us feel good in the short term, but in the long term, it ain't right for you. But the people you may be pushing away may be. And you don't want to find yourself in a situation where you're alone, reaching for the wrong person, watching them do the same thing you did. This is a vicious cycle that you have to live. And so, I don't know that I'm doing that. She might not be the wrong person, but given the fact that I'm going through this, it seems like the devil's using her more so than God is in my life right now, if I'm being completely honest. And that's unfortunate, because a lot of prayers have been prayed in the other direction. So, it is what it is, man. We all get our comeuppance. We all do get back what we're supposed to get. When we give, we get back. Karma is real. And for all the people that I pushed away in the name of my own selfishness and my own comfort and protection, I apologize to them if you ever see this video. I apologize to all my friends. I apologize to whoever I did that to. You know what I mean? Because I can tell you this, it doesn't feel good to be on the other side of it. Especially when you know you're guilty of that. So, that's pretty much what it is to say, man. I guess I'll listen to this back. I'm trying to let my stomach get to growling before I start eating. I got my food ready, but I just don't want to overeat. I ate a couple hours ago, so I'll let that rice wait. But I thank you all for letting me vent like this, man. I've been struggling with this particular subject a lot, probably for the last several years, but not as much as I have over the last month or two. Since I've been going through this, that's when I've really struggled the most with her being who she is, who she's always been. And that's, I tell her I love her for her, not for me. Just got to have the temperament to see that through. And that's what I'm praying that the Lord will help me do. So, that's what I got to say. My name is BDF 44. I thank you all for watching. I'm out.